Welcome back, everybody, to the Board YouTube channel for today's Pick and Roll. It is Thursday, October 24th. There's 4 games on the NBA slate, so plenty to work with for myself and Pips today for our show, presented, of course, by FanDuel. We've had a lot of good fortune with, or rather good results with the big SGP so far this season. The straight bets have been very good positions, and the market has reflected that at the time of close. However, not yet finding the rewards, but it's been a very small sample to start the season, only been 2 days, but the way things are going right now, it absolutely looks very promising, and more bets are on the way today. So if you're ready for the show, you're ready for the season, make sure you do smash that like button, help drive us up in the YouTube algorithm, and make sure you're subscribed to the Board YouTube channel. I just checked in, guys. We are 42 subscribers away from 3,000 on the channel, so please make sure if you're not subscribed, you do subscribe, because in return, we'll give you daily NBA betting shows like this on weekdays. We break down the slate, go through some bets. We had an hour show loaded with content yesterday. Pips, 10 games. Did you manage to follow all right through everything? How did the first big day of the NBA season go?
Yeah, I was up entire night. Didn't catch every game, but I think I watched like 6 or 7 out of 10. So yeah, at least like 2 quarters of every game. So yeah, it was interesting start to the season. Mm, a bit rusty from most of the teams. Like shooting wasn't great. But yeah, uh, I don't know if there's any surprise in the game one. Probably my Rockets losing to the Hornets as the biggest upset of the day. Yeah, that everything else went mostly
Well,
as expected.
it might be tough to catch every game, but it is a lot easier with this great offer that FanDuel is offering right now. If you are new to FanDuel, if you can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets on any winning bet, and if you're an existing customer, right now FanDuel is giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you have to do to catch every tip-off and buzzer beater is place any $5 bet on the NBA. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app or check it out with the link in the description to get in on the action. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For candidates in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino or 18 plus and present in DC. After 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime, no refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Let's get into things here. So first of all, let's talk about some of the action from yesterday. So the Rockets one was a little bit surprising, losing outright to the Charlotte Hornets. You mentioned to me that Alperen Şengün was impressive in this one, but ultimately not quite impressive enough to get over the line and get the win for the Rockets. Another interesting one, Orlando, Miami. We were kind of looking at that one. Miami favored by 2, and we thought, not sure about that one, not confident enough to place a wager, but Orlando ended up winning 116-97. That was one as well. Did you have any eyes on that game?
Yeah, it was a, like almost tied game at the halftime, and then they run away. First half, it was just lucky shooting from Rozier and Hero that kept Miami in the game. Franz Wagner foul trouble first quarter. Suggs foul trouble first quarter. So they were kind of lagging. And then when they started playing together in the second half, Banchero was amazing. I mean, huge. And Bam Adebayo and Butler couldn't handle the physicality of Magic defense. They put like all-time stinkers in this game. So yeah, it was like I remember we spoke on the show. I said I leaned heavily on the Magic to win this game. I think they were +2. I
Yeah.
was like that surprise for me, and yeah, they completely destroyed it. I actually think I did like really well with leans on the
Well,
game.
there
Yeah.
was we gave out 3 official picks. We'll recap those just a sec.
Yeah.
I did say there's 2 extra bets that I am personally going to bet off of what we did on the show. One of which was the Milwaukee Bucks at -3.5 against the Sixers. They end up winning by 15. I was going to say maybe surprising result, but our analysis would suggest not really surprising. The Sixers are very depleted of players, and the Bucks were impressive. What did you make of that game?
Yeah, watch the most of this game. Bucks were playing like it, their approach was it was preseason game. They played maybe at 50% of their power. They're messing around and still easily won. In these four teams, the thing I realized they have a huge problem scoring inside on Brook Lopez. Like these inexperienced, like fringe players, they just couldn't get anything inside against Brook Lopez. So yeah, they were just like true shooting was like 45% in this game for the
The
Sixers.
Sixers don't look great, and the Raptors will be playing them on Friday. The Raptors did look terrible in the first game, as
Yeah,
BRB puts in chat. Cleveland -6 was nice. Yeah, it was a rough one for Toronto. There was another bet that I had from that game that I mentioned on the show. I hit it live. David Mitchell. I hit it while we were live on this show. David Mitchell under 8.5 points. Finished on 8. I obviously watched the entire game. Probably in a normal game would have finished on maybe 2. Got a couple garbage. He played garbage time. Got a couple of just steals at the top of the key. Ran down the floor for a wide open layup. There was 2 of those. And then another one was a fast break. So that was a sweat in the end because he did take a late 3 to almost go over. But because he played garbage time. Anyways, that one's easy. And because I do like that he finished right on 8 points, I'm hoping in the Sixers game he has the same line and we can play the under on that again. But we'll see for tomorrow's show. But enough on the leans here. Let's talk about the official picks that were in play for us. First of all, the big SGP goes back to back. 2 straight big SGP winners. This one went down to the final buzzer. I mean, it kind of didn't. Siakam needed
yeah.
4 points in the last possession, basically, which isn't impossible, but pretty good. This one seemed to just move along really well here, Pips. Did you have eyes on the Pistons-Pacers game?
Yeah, I watched the entire game. Fortunately, Pistons did came up short in the end, but they played a really good game and surprised with how well they played. I'm not surprised, but like I expected them to be better. I spoke about it, and they did. They lead almost the entire game. Then late into the game, made some questionable test stuff, and on the other side, Siakam was scoring like some easy buckets. Like he didn't get almost anything in half court, but some easy transitions. So yeah, Pistons defense looked great in half court. They just need to improve their transition defense, and yeah, that's it. On our place, I mean, everything went pretty easy. Like Siakam was 19, Ivy 17, even with foul trouble. So yeah, I think it went really smooth.
If you guys have any bets for today, anything you want to put in the chat, please put it in the chat now. I'm going to save all this stuff for later as normal. We'll save it for the Q&A portion later on in the stream. So I'm seeing all the comments. We're going to get to them a little bit later on. Unfortunately, as much as big SGPs are 2-0 in the season, straight plays are 0-3. And again, we got a really good number twice. We got 2 really good numbers here. Alan Turn puts in chat, I can buy a nice CLV Ferrari at this rate. Yeah, the Nick Richards play closed at 16.5. Heavy juice. We had the -120 at 15.5.
I mean, I think bad stuff is a bit off there.
I saw it at 18.5 as well.
Yeah, 18 and a half. Yeah, 18 and a half. Yeah,
It may be off there. I agree. I saw it up
yeah,
to 18.5 at
yeah,
many places. So the Nick Richards
yeah.
play we got at 15.5 points and rebounds. It closed at 18, finishes on 14. Brandon Clark over 8.5 points. I think that closed at 9.5 points, finishes with 2. The process is in the right place. The market is agreeing with, and even if
Yeah,
you
just
want to say because this show does move the market a little bit, it can move the market a little bit. These are significant movements in the market that not just the show is going to achieve.
yeah,
So the money's in the
yeah.
right place, right?
First off, Nick Richards, second minute of the game, second foul. Yeah, that's just. I think with the minutes he was right on the pace for like 18 PRs, which the market end up being there.
Yeah.
So really sharp move. And on the Brandon Clark, Jay Huff took his minutes. In
Who?
what world could anyone expect that
Who took his
to
minutes?
happen? Jay Huff, how is it pronounced Huff or
Oh, Huff.
Huff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is.
Huff played 20 minutes, I think. Jay Huff, 23 minutes. Yeah, he took his minutes. Jay Huff, like in 2024 season opener
Interesting.
for the Memphis
Yeah.
Grizzlies. I mean, he did shoot well. He really shoot well. Like he made 3 threes. Jay Huff made 3 threes as a big. So, but Brandon Clark was the team highest plus minus, even though he didn't play that great. We
Yeah,
lost this
he
one
was.
because he made two poor plays. He got benched. He was expected to play 24 minutes, and additionally, Zach Edey foul trouble, uh,
Yeah.
fouled out, and still didn't get Brandon Clark in the game. So I think I will bet this 10 out of 10 times probably because when Clark gets 20 or more minutes, he's crushing these lines. He just for some reason didn't get it. And just check the minutes when you have opened that on the screen for the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't know what's happening with this rotation stuff. Like, look at the minutes for the starters. It was a really close
In a
game,
close game.
27 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they will play like 10 deep and a lot of minutes for bench guys.
They
They
went
played even
11
11
deep,
minutes.
man. This is
Yeah, because
insane.
I'll say we probably shouldn't talk shit about our take on Ide because out of any player I saw in the first week, he was by far the worst player out there. Like not even kidding. Like he looked terrible, terrible. Like I don't. I'm afraid even to check the offensive rating or defensive rating with him on the floor because he got cooked so badly. Like even if he wasn't fouled out, he will be probably benched. Yeah, I think like Zach Ide probably one of the worst games so far. I mean, it's a rookie, so usually have worse terrible games, but for a rookie starter, this is like all time terrible.
All right. Well, we'll have to see how that works out through the season. We did see the problem is we said he was bad, then said he was good. So now we look no matter what, like we're gonna look
Yeah,
we're gonna look bad. We also played his in our preseason show, played his rookie of the year bad. But it's one game, I can forgive a bad game to start a season. But D Dot going further saying he'll be out of rotation by week 3. I don't know about that, but this is an interesting one. I didn't catch this game, so
Jacob will take over.
J Huff will take over. Somebody, yeah, Chance W says J Huff playing 25 minutes in the NBA opening day is insane. Dude was ass at Virginia. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, everything was there to find the win there. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen. Let's try to recoup some of it today on the show. Let's dive into the slate that we have. First of all, we have Boston back in action. They're taking on the Washington Wizards. We're gonna shift the FanDuel screen to night mode. If you prefer the white screen, let me know. But we changed it to dark mode for today's show. Boston minus 13.5 favorites for this one against the very lowly Wizards. This one could get ugly. What do you think, Pips?
Yeah, yeah, this should get ugly. The best team in the last 5 years versus the worst teams in the last 5 years. I will say this Wizards are probably the worst team. Could be like top 5 worst teams in the last decade in the NBA. And of course, Boston Celtics are one of the best. So this could be like 50 points blowout. Wouldn't be surprised. Or Boston Celtics messing around and keeping this close because they don't care. So yeah, I don't know what will
It's
we
it's
get
not
from
really
this.
it's not really the MO of the show to bet on a game with a 13.5 point spread. Not that you can't bet on a game like this. It's just Pips is a very matchup driven, and his matchup
Yeah,
analysis
I'm.
is where his bets come from, and it's tough to identify matchups in a game that has significant blowout potential like this.
I mean, you can build a big same game parlay on like Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard
Yeah,
going over 3 or 6 points because if it's a huge blowout, they are playing 12 minutes in the fourth as the main guys. If you see it like that, I can't see it happening. This is probably worth the try. So yeah. those are my 2 cents for this one.
I'm looking right now off the board for those two at FanDuel. So perhaps monitoring throughout the day. People are talking about Pritchard threes in the chat. Let's see where that goes. So let's move on to the next game. Luka Doncic, Victor Wembanyama in action. First time this season. This is going to be a good game, I think. It's Dallas favored by 8 over the San Antonio Spurs. Over under set at 229.5. What are you looking at, if anything, in this game?
Yeah, I'm unfortunately not looking at much this here, but let's check something up. Yeah, I'm looking at maybe PJ Washington numbers because he scores a lot of corner threes and threes overall. I think on spot up, and I think the Spurs will be doing well against spot up because Wemby is covering everything inside, so they can stick up with players outside. So I'm just going to check some numbers, but quick.
Yeah, I just
On
wanted
the
to look
squad,
here at Chris Paul's assist quickly. It's 7.5. Super heavy juice to the over. Not super interesting
yeah.
there. Victor Wembanyama's points are at 25.5. Fry's maybe thinking about a Victor Wembanyama under for this one, with it being quite high. Rather uncertain market there, minus 113 on each side. I can't believe Julian Chappelle's
Yeah.
starting in the NBA. That's crazy. But Klay Thompson, 16.5 points is his line. Doncic, 29.5. That's kind of low for Doncic in a way. I'm not going to bet that, but that's a bit low. Yeah, what are your thoughts? Anything coming through?
Actually, nope for that game. So yeah, nothing for that game, unfortunately.
I think this is a good question here. What do you think the minutes distribution will be for the centers in Dallas? Derek Lively going to be the starter now, but they were pretty much even minutes last season when they were together. But I would think Derek Lively takes on a little bit more now. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it could be like 26-22 in favor of Derek Lively. Maybe they play some PJ Washington at the 5 when Collins is at the 5 for the Spurs.
Oh, okay. Say when
Yeah,
Wemby's out there, I don't think
yeah,
so.
yeah. When Webb is not there, yeah, of course. So yeah, I think maybe 24-21 and PJ for some minutes out there. So yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
Let's move to the next game. Minnesota Timberwolves and the Sacramento Kings spread here at -1. Timberwolves coming off of their opening night loss to the Los Angeles Lakers. Favored away from home here. You're pretty low on the Sacramento Kings for this season. The Timberwolves, you didn't like the way Julius Randle looked in that first game, but
They
thoughts for
look,
this one?
yeah, they look terrible, and the other teams look really bad. If I can say bad, like that's not a great word, but yeah, they didn't look well.
They
So
look bad.
yeah, and now I don't know what to even bet on in this game because I don't trust either team. I did take, I think I got +2 for the Wolves 2 days ago, and it moved -1. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the Wolves were +2 like 2 days ago.
That's
I
insane.
think before the game against the Lakers. I think
Okay.
I bet it like before the game against the Lakers because it was just weird. I did terrible. Or maybe right after the game, but it moved,
Okay.
steamed on makes sense. Wolves should be favorites here. We'll build same game parlay here, big same game parlay on this game. Let's
Let's
go
do it.
with Anthony Edwards 20+ points.
All right. So same game parlay coming through. Big SGP on the way, starting with Anthony Edwards.
25+ points.
25 plus points. My bad.
Yeah. Then let's go to player assists, and we'll take De'Aaron Fox under 5.5 assists. That was part of my season longs.
Yep. Yep.
And let's take Rudy Gobert rebounds 10 plus because his numbers against Sabonis were absolutely incredible. Fun fact, over the last two games against Sabonis, he had 60 rebounding chances and 30
60.
rebounds. 60, yeah. 28 and 32 last two games
Wow.
last season. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, like maybe we can do it for, yeah. Let's do 12 plus for Gobert.
12 plus for
Because
Gobert.
I will bet 11, but it's not there. So 12 plus sounds. Yeah, let's do 12 plus for Rudy Gobert.
Okay. So this is it? These three?
Yeah, so
All
yeah,
right.
this is it.
There you go. Here are the 3 plays for today's big SGP. Minnesota Timberwolves at the Sacramento Kings. Anthony Edwards, 25 plus points. De'Aaron Fox, under 5.5 assists. Rudy Gobert, 12 plus rebounds. Building this out to plus 310 on FanDuel. As always, FanDuel's our sponsor. We're building this out on FanDuel. For any bet that ever comes up in the show, make sure you're line shopping to get the best price. FanDuel oftentimes will have that best price, but we're getting plus 310 on this big SGP. Big SGP's 2-0 to start the year, so let's hope to make it 3-0 with this one. Let's go to the final game on the slate for today. It is the OKC Thunder. Another great game. Wow. OKC Thunder and Denver Nuggets. Two teams vying for the top spot in the West. Oklahoma, the favorites to do it. Denver probably going to have a more difficult season than the last two, but they're -2 favorites against the Thunder at home. Denver, one of the best home court advantages in the NBA. Over-under for this game set at 227. Well, what are your thoughts for this one with no Hartenstein for the Thunder?
I still think this is +2 on OKC. If I need to, I will love +2.5, probably out somewhere. Because Jamal Murray looks terrible, and they will eat him up in this matchup. Whoever they put, Caruso or Dort, terrible matchup for Jamal Murray. I don't trust Christian Brown. If Dort is on Jamal Murray, Caruso and Michael Porter Jr., that's tough. And then they are known for like fronting Nikola Jokic and not giving the ball to him. So they'll probably ignore Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown on threes to front Jokic. And then on the bench, it's Westbrook. So yeah, this is not looking real good as a matchup for the Denver with Jamal Murray being so not in good form. If Jamal Murray was in better shape, this changes a lot. But this way, I just don't see it. I think it will be a very difficult game for the Denver Nuggets. They are playing at home, which they are like way better at those heights there. But I do think the Thunder should win this game. It will be a close game, but I do think Thunder have everything to prevail. I'll just on the spot do some research so you can put the prop medals on the screen. I'm just checking stuff for Michael Porter Jr. I don't know if I can zoom in maybe one more. Yeah.
Oh, zoom one more. So, yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So when you look at the Michael Porter Jr. against the OKC last season, he did kind of well, but mostly looking at his threes, but it's super juiced, so I'll see what to do with it. But the more interesting player for me here is Chet Holmgren against the Denver Nuggets. Jokic could be on the level against Shea and Jalen, so that will open up a lot for Chet Holmgren. He's scoring a lot of points in the paint, and the Denver Nuggets defense in the paint is below average, and they are last season they were 7th worst pick and roll man defense, and several players did perform well against Denver. But to look some numbers, I'll check the regular season when Chet played 28 plus minutes, because without Hartenstein and current team, he needs to play a massive minutes tonight in order
Yeah.
to compete with Nikola Jokic. He is scoring most of his points as a pick and roll man. So just checking out teams outside the top 10 for roll man and excluding top 10 defensive rim defense. And if you look at the numbers, now it looks kind of interesting. We can see that the average moved to 18 points. He's over this line in 70 out of 27. But a lot of games landed at exactly 15 and 16 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game out of 27 landed exactly at number 15 and 16. And this line opened at 15 and a half. I think it's somewhere, you can find that 15 and a half. FanDuel is sharp, so they moved at 16 and a half already. It looks very, very better at 15 and a half than it looks at 16 and a half
Yeah.
because the media
15 and
is
a half.
here.
15 and a half is probably out there.
Yeah.
Let me confirm.
So
But
I'll create some game parlay with this with 15 plus points, and
okay.
we'll go
Let's do
to
that.
the first leg is Chet Holmgren 15 plus points. It's just like he finished always there, and in the games against Denver, we can look back at the Prof Madness last season. Against 3 games against Denver, he did score 17, 24, and 18 points. So this is like all the data is behind Chet Holmgren. And the second leg of this will be probably, I'll just check something, for Michael Porter Jr. The threes, I think we can do like 2 plus because, yeah, he crushed this in the games. 2 plus threes looks really good for him. Like he is usually taking like 6 to 9. So 2 is usually a floor for him. And if you take a look at the Thunder, they do allow above average threes. They're collapsing his side. So when we look at against the teams that allow above average threes, his numbers looks even better. So I'll put that as a second leg. Michael Porter Jr. 2 plus threes.
All right.
And
2 plus
especially
threes.
on this team, like Gordon and Brown, not shooting many threes. Jamal Murray doesn't look great, so Michael Porter should like fire at a huge rate in just to give the Denver a chance, especially at home. So yeah,
Right.
we have an official bet. It's Chet Holmgren 15 plus points and Michael Porter Jr. 2 plus threes.
There you have it. 2 plus threes from Michael Porter Jr. Chet Holmgren, 15 plus points. Official bet minus 105 odds. We built it out to here. So there we go. Interesting spot here for the game. And quick shout out to Fries in the chat. Right at the start of the show, said, "Do I smell a Chet Holmgren wager incoming?" And we're very well called. I don't know how you managed to get that right, but 2 official plays on the show today, the big SGP and this play right here. Let's move to the Q&A portion of the stream. Any questions, any comments, anything you have in the chat that you want me and Pips to talk about, react to, please add it to the chat. We'll queue it up and we'll react to it. We'll get to it. Let's talk, firstly, we'll go to Fries here. We'll give him the first spot for correctly guessing the player today. But is Şengün really going to improve his steal percentage again for the 4th year in a row? Pips, do you think that is on the cards for Alpi after the new contract?
Yeah, I don't know but last night I'll just pull the number, but I think I saw something incredible. My Rockets lost, but we won minutes with Şengün by huge margin. So let's just check. So Rockets lost by 5, and we won Şengün minutes by 10. So like in 14 minutes without Şengün, we lost by 15. Rockets, you remember I sent you last night that Rockets look real good,
I
and
remember.
did look real good when Şengün was on the floor. When Şengün, this team completely falls apart. So yeah, I do think this contract is looking great for the Rockets. I said it immediately, right? And he improved on defense. Last night he was incredible on defense, which was a problem last couple of times last season. Probably why we lost Nick Richards, honestly. Like, it was because Shengun looked really great. Like, he was recovering, he was contesting, he was everywhere. So, yeah, kind of. If it was last season, Shengun, this would be a winner. So, yeah, Shengun looks absolutely incredible.
Next question coming up here. A question about the Wolves and Kings game. Wolves, this person got it at +1.5 yesterday, but at -1. We talked about it a little bit there, but would you recommend the -1 as a bet? That still seems like it could be a little bit further.
I'm real low on Kings, so yeah. But I didn't like the first game of the season for Wolves. They look terrible on offense. Defense was kind of okay. I mean, they did well. As expected, they will be top five defense again, but offense looked real rough. So yeah, tough, tough one. But I do think they should win. They should win this game. Like if I need to pick one, I'm picking Wolves. They probably needs to win like I don't know, 54% of the time for this to be a profitable. So I think that's that's the case.
So I'm just getting the graphic ready for end of the show here. Let's move to the next question here. The Klay Thompson point line for today is set at 16.5. Roman in chat says Klay is never going to score 17 plus points. I'm not sure if this is a reference to Klay ever again, or if this is a reference to Klay Thompson just today. But what are your thoughts on Klay Thompson's point line tonight at 16.5?
I'll win under. He looked terrible in the preseason. So yeah, I wouldn't say that the Spurs are terrible matchup. I would say they are above average matchup for him, but he did look absolutely terrible in the preseason. He shot 24% from the field, 77 points average. Yeah, that's that's really bad. And also without Luka Doncic, I mean Luka will create some shots for him, but the usage should be lower a bit for play in this game.
Yeah, under 16.5 right now for Klay Thompson on FanDuel. Just going to see what he's like elsewhere just to get a gauge of the market here. But
I think also like PJ Washington
yeah,
should be
16.5
also like
everywhere. 16.5 everywhere. Pretty much same juice everywhere. So very similar juice everywhere as well. I would lean
yeah.
under. I agree.
Same similar stuff with PJ Washington. I will lean heavily under on this line. I think this should be probably like 11 and a half even on both
Pretty.
sides.
It's got heavy juice. It's close. It's close to going to 11.5.
I won't share it because -122 on FanDuel is usually gone within three bets.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I
Yeah,
win
that's
under.
-122 is pretty close to the best price available.
Yeah,
So yeah, that might get moved quickly. We saw with the Tatum one. Actually, Klay Thompson, the little adjustment towards is over right there. Interesting. While we're talking about it, usually it's the opposite. BRB asked about the Boston first half alternate team total over 64.5 at +120 against the Wizards. In a game like this, I can actually see taking a first half bet being a little bit safer for the blowout potential. You don't know what the second half is going to look like. So if you really wanted to bet something, maybe the first half would make a bit more sense. But what do you think about over 64.5 for the first half for them?
I also don't have any opinions on that game because when I have like sides and like stakes in the games, I do it when I expect teams to play at their best. I don't think Boston will like look at this game and say like, okay, I need to play it hard. They 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 hate that they need to go there and play this stupid game. So I don't think the approach will be like let's push up the pace and tempo and knock everything down. So yeah, if they
Uh,
do, it's a valuable spot, but it's all a question.
I'm looking at this comment here saying Minnesota alts are tempting me. I'm trying to pull up the alternate lines here because, yeah, I think this is a chance for Minnesota to really show out today against the Kings. I know you already mentioned it, but is there a chance for Minnesota to really win by margin for this one, you think?
Sure, like if they play a bit better the offense, figure out how to use Randall and Dante DiVincenzo, they can win by double digits.
Yeah,
Sure.
talk to me from the first game of the season. The Timberwolves obviously lost to the Lakers. First game with Julius Randle. You mentioned on Twitter you weren't really happy with Julius Randle's play in that game overall. Talk to me about, you're already shaking your head. Talk to me about the fit or lack thereof with Randle with the Timberwolves and how do you think it will affect them this season?
Randall is like a low block kind of post up guy, and it's completely terrible for the Wolves because the Gobert is so close, and the help is coming from Gobert such so easily without giving much. So it doesn't work that well. Also, he's just slowing down. Like these Wolves have offensive issues, and they have good enough defense to run quick, fast-paced game. And if they are playing slow, they won't score. They will never be a great half-court offense. So they need to push the pace, and Randall is completely slowing it down with so stupid touches. Like you don't need to have a Randall like 5 seconds into the game, into the possession. He's up there, like he's isolating, tapping the ball, and shooting a step back three. Like, come on, he's shooting 30% from three in career. Like, is that if that's best you got, you are like, that's insane. So yeah, I need to see more ball in Anthony Edwards' hands and just push the pace. There, yeah, that's it. Honestly, like not much there. And against the Kings defense, you need to push the pace. That's also there.
It wasn't a great matchup for Randall in that one, but I did think the Minnesota coaching staff, who I definitely respect, would have done a bit more to kind of keep tabs on his game. I think he's just going to have to take a bit more spot up opportunities and a bit more threes for it to really click with everybody else. But you could tell, like, he was just trying to get into his game, and it just was not clicking for him. And it was very sticky. The ball was very sticky in his hands compared to everybody
Yeah,
else.
that's the issue. Like if he just moves the ball a bit quicker, there will be more shots open for Dante, for Jade, for McDaniels, Naz Reid. He, yeah, that,
Yeah, Nas Reed in particular. Like, get this guy the ball. Agreed.
yeah.
Uh, one here from Roman asking about Dario Saric over 0.5 threes. Saric is
Yeah, I
Croatian,
could see
right?
that. I don't know the number. Yeah, I don't know the number. I could see that happen.
I'll pull up the number. I'll
Though he
find
didn't
it.
shoot well in the preseason, but I do think that can happen.
All right, player threes, Saric. I do not see him on the board here. Let's see where he is. Let's see what the price is at in other spots here for Saric on threes.
Someone asked,
We talked about Lonzo yesterday over 1.5. He hit one a pretty crazy one early, and then no
yeah,
more rest of the game. I don't see any. I don't see it up. I don't know where it is, but depending on the
Badger,
price, can
Badger
see it.
boy saying this is a prop show. Way too many spread over under questions. Yeah.
That's a true. That's true. Hey, well, if you want more prop questions, you gotta ask him. You know, we're just we're pulling up conversations about the spread. We're going through these games, but we had one there with Sarge
Uh,
at least.
yeah. Also,
Here,
we
I'll
do
pull it
have
up
some
next.
questions. Thoughts on Westbrook points and assists. I think this is a good look. I honestly looking at it. Fortunately, FanDuel doesn't have it up yet, but if they had it, I will bet it. I spoke about on the preseason show that I'm looking at six-man role for six-man award for Westbrook, and I said I expect him 12 and 6, 12 assists, 12 points and 6 assists average
Yeah,
during the season. I think the line is 13 and a half for the first game
it's 12.
and
12 and a half,
12
sorry.
and a half. Yeah, yeah, they should bet that. Like, I think that's
There's 12 and a half at minus 125 out there. Is that something you
yeah.
play?
I think that's good.
Would you
I
make
think
that an official wager for today?
we can. I'm willing to bet
All
on
right.
this.
Good question from Alan Churn. Results in an official bet. There is minus 130s out there. There's minus 125s out there. Make sure you look later in the day if FanDuel
Bet
opens this
up to
up as well.
minus
But
130. Up to minus 130. Don't go over there. But I think this, I can see him like 10 and 5 easily in this game, especially with Thunder. They will ignore him on offense. They will be like happy with him shooting threes and running to the rim.
okay, let me write this down here. Westbrook, official bet, everybody. Over 12.5 points plus assists at 12.5, minus 130 or better. That's the third official play for today. Hopefully getting back on track with this straight play. There you go. You asked for the props, you shall receive the props. It all comes down to the questions coming through from the chat. We'll go through a few more here to wrap up the show. And this comment about Kyle Kuzma. I'll do this in general. I don't know if this is a question from Gucci in the house about a prop specifically today or just Kyle Kuzma in general. Do you rate Kyle Kuzma as a player?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I think Kyle Kuzma is a great player. Not for a team like Wizards, where he's the second scoring option.
Yes,
Where
I
on
was
a
gonna say
good
that.
team as a fourth guy and some of the bench leading second leading guy. Yeah, I think Kyle Kuzma is really good. Like I think people like looking at his comments on Twitter and the stuff he wears usually, so they take him like don't
He
take
doesn't
him
do himself any
seriously.
favors with that
Yeah,
stuff.
but I think he's overall good player. Like not something great, but he's a good player. He has his role on so many teams.
He's very hard to take seriously because of like the extra antics, and it's also very hard to take him seriously when he plays for the most unserious team probably in the NBA, the Washington Wizards. But you look back on the Los Angeles Lakers championship season, he was not putting up a lot of points, but he was a pretty important part of that team nonetheless. It just hasn't really been in that role since then. But I've been wanting to see him end up on a really good, like a good team again, so we can see him in that role again, where like Aaron Gordon after going from Orlando, like a high usage player, to Denver, a lower usage player playing a specific role. If Kyle Kuzma had that same sort of trajectory where he goes now to a team where he's playing less of a role, I think he'll be more effective, and I think he will be a lot more respected in the
Yeah,
NBA. That's
I agree.
that's
I mean, he can handle the ball. He can shoot when he is not taking pull-up threes. He can defend. Decently. He has size. He's like all around decent player. Like you can put him in a lot of good spots to succeed, and Wizards are just not one of them.
yeah, again, that's like the worst place to be, but he's
Yeah.
kind of stuck there for a little bit. It is what it is. Last question here. Thoughts on the Suns? They were overtime winners against the Los Angeles Clippers. Unfortunately, West Coast game was a bit late for me. Not even talking about an overtime game on the West Coast. This is the last game of the night, but Pips, did you brave into the early hours of the morning in Croatia to watch the Phoenix Suns?
Yeah, I watched I watched until the fourth quarter start and then went to
Jeez,
sleep.
how do you do it,
Uh,
man?
I turned the game down on one sequence. Uh, it was third quarter. I think it's third quarter, and Booker had four field goal attempts. KD had four field goal attempts, and Yusuf Nurkic took a three for three straight possessions and had higher usage than KD and Booker. And I was like, okay, this is enough for me. Let's go to the back. Like, let's go to sleep. Like, I can't watch this shit. So,
And
yeah, it was real.
you don't like Yusuf. If anybody doesn't know, Pips does not like Yusuf Nurkic.
He was also terrible in like every possible way. He was setting moving screens. He was taking too long on the ball. He was making wrong movement on the defense. I would say like one of the reasons they were so close. It's Nurkic. But yeah, the Mike Badenholzer ball is like there. They move the ball like crazy on offense. It just when they move the ball so great, so quick, a lot of movement, the ball doesn't end up in the hands of KD and Booker to shoot.
Okay.
So they had real struggle with usage in this game. Yeah, you can see Booker 9 field goal attempts, uh, Bradley Beal 12 field goal attempts, and KD took over in the overtime. But before the overtime, he also had like 10, 11 field goal attempts. So yeah, that's the issue. Like if you are moving the ball and then it ends up by the like wide open three for Monte Morris or Royce O'Neal or like Tyus Jones, which is not terrible, but you are like you have best players. You need to use them to
Yeah,
finish.
Grayson. I don't. Grayson. However many minutes he played, I'm gonna guess he probably needed more. that, that's what I would say. Was that
Yeah,
what? I mean, I gotta look it up here.
21 minutes for Grayson, and I think he
That's
played in the
that's
overtime.
that's
So
a joke.
before the overtime, it's like 16, I think.
Grayson Allen
Yeah,
as a person, I do not like. Grayson Allen as a basketball player is fantastic, and he was the best shooter in the NBA last season.
yeah,
21 minutes. No, they
yeah.
did start. How did
It
wow, Bradley Beal played. Oh, it was overtime, but Bradley Beal played a lot. How did
yeah, Devin Booker got fouled out in the fourth, so
oh,
everything
okay.
else was taken by
How
Bradley Beal.
did how did Bradley Beal look as a starter? Because I've been pretty well.
I
The
think he was their best player in this game.
He was the best.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
24.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, 8
he
of
was real
12,
good. Like
24
he was
points.
like moving the ball and then attacking
Grayson
when
Allen's bench.
things open, which is a great role for him. Like if he's attacking like open lanes and not chucking shots like contested, he was getting good looks and he took only the good looks. So that part of the game was great. I think
Okay.
they would lose this game if Harden could make any shots and Powell was 5 from 16 and got almost all the great looks. If he had a bit better game, this is a win for the Clippers. Harden didn't shoot well, but he was creating a ton of good stuff for the Clippers as we expected. And for him being able to bring this Clippers team to the overtime against the Sun, these Suns is
Yeah.
like amazing. So yeah, we'll need to see. It was like historic Harden game, 28 field goal attempts. That's like Houston days.
Just prime Harden, baby. 10 of
Yeah,
28 though. Not his normal efficiency.
yeah. I mean,
28 shots though.
if,
That's
if one more
crazy.
three goes in, that's okay. But yeah,
Yeah, I guess 28 shots is just crazy though.
when you look
but
at the team
almost triple double.
supporting cast, Terrence Mann, Derek
No.
Jones.
I get it. No. I'm saying it's
Yeah,
crazy. It's just a lot. I know.
yeah,
I'm looking at it like you've got Trey Met. You've got Norm Powell. Norm Powell shot 5 of 16. Derek Jones started. Yeah, Harden's got to take a lot of shots, but
yeah,
that's still a lot. That's funny. And they got of course the Godfather in there with 21 points as well. Big Zoo putting up a good stat
yeah.
line for the Clippers there, albeit in a loss. All right. Okay, one more because it is a prop and it is a prop show, as Badger Boy said. Trey Jones over 12.5 points assists, or will Chris Paul cut into the minutes there too much? I
Oh,
can pull up the
I
line.
didn't even look about that one, but
Let me
I
pull up the
think
line.
I honestly think he will play maybe 20 minutes. In those minutes,
Not
I think I lean under actually
FanDuel.
if he's playing 20 minutes. Like Chris Paul getting 40, 28. I think Trey Jones is not playing next to Chris Paul. He will just get the minutes when Chris Paul sits. So that's top 20 minutes, 18 to 20 minutes for Trey Jones. Let's take a look. You can open up Props Madness real quick for this one.
Scheming.
I'll just go to the Trey Jones points and assists and look at the games live, and he's playing like 16 to 22 minutes. And I yeah, he averaged last season when he played 16 to 22 minutes, he averaged 10 points and assists and once under 11 to 15. Matchup is also not great. Against Dallas, he had one game, 20 minutes last season. He had 6 points and assists. So I lean under actually on this. I'm not betting it because minutes are uncertain, but I do bet under on this. And yeah, I think this is Chris Paul
So
should get 28. So I think the top he can get is 20 minutes tonight. So I don't like this. Maybe
right,
if we
this is
like if there's
go
any
ahead.
news later on the day, like how many minutes Chris Paul playing, maybe bet the under.
So to sum up, the answer to the question is no. The over,
Yeah,
unfortunately, not
yeah,
quite the play for this
yeah,
one. Chris Paul will cut into it too much. You are correct on that. But hey, you asked, and now you have a bit more clarity, and now you're more confident not taking it. So
yeah.
hopefully it doesn't win, and then you should have bet it. But all about the process, as we talk about on this show. And the process has been there absolutely so far this season. Hasn't come off in the results for the straight bets as of yet, but definitely looking to change that on today's show. This was off memory, so please, if I'm wrong, correct me on the official pick recap for today. But the big SGP was Anthony Edwards, 25 plus points, Rudy Gobert, 12 plus rebounds, and De'Aaron Fox under 5.5 assists. That was plus 310 at FanDuel on the big SGP. It was plus 310. Am I right?
I think it's 316, but I think yeah, that's right there. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, make sure you shop around for all these bets here. OKC at Denver, Chet Holmgren, 15 plus points. Michael Porter Jr., 2 plus 3-pointers made. That was minus 105, built on FanDuel. And then we go to Russell Westbrook, also in this game. Separate bet. Russell Westbrook over 12.5 points plus assists. Out there, you can find minus 130 or better. I confirmed it. Minus 130 or better is out there. Play Russell Westbrook over 12.5 points plus assists on the combo line. That'll do it for the show today. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We started the day 42 subscribers away from 3,000. So if you're new to the channel, you want to see more content like this, make sure you're subscribed. And please make sure you smash that like button as well to help drive us up in the YouTube algorithm. Me and Pips will be back tomorrow to wrap up the week of NBA action, hopefully celebrating a winning day. So we'll see you tomorrow.